She marched into my yard like she owned the damn planet, heels punching little craters in my tomatoes, swinging that sheet of paper high like she was showing off a royal decree. "This is official," she barked, practically foaming at the mouth. "You owe the HOA $1 million for breaking community rules." "Yeah, 1 million. For what? Running an underground casino out of my shed." "No, watering my tomatoes." That's what it said, big as life. "Unauthorized landscaping. Illegal property use. Public nuisance. And the kicker? If you don't pay, we'll seize your home." You ever have one of those moments where you want to laugh, but you know you shouldn't? That was me, just sitting there on my old porch, arms crossed, watching her parade around for all the neighbors peeking through their curtains. She wanted a scene. And, well, she was about to get one. So I asked, slow and steady, $1 million for watering tomatoes? Her lips curled like she'd just stepped in something foul. She rattled off her list of crimes, and I could see she really believed she had me pinned. Just another old guy with dirt under his fingernails, easy to crush. But let me back up a sec. What she didn't know is, I'd been holding back a hell of a lot more than a hose these past few years. I leaned forward, locking eyes with her, just enough to let her know I wasn't afraid. "You really think this land is yours?" I asked. She twisted her body, flashing that smug grin for the growing crowd. Neighbors who loved a bit of drama as much as she did. "Of course. This is HOA territory. Don't follow the rules, don't live here." That's what she said, all clipped and practiced. I let it hang in the air, heavy, before dropping a little bomb of my own. "Funny thing, your clubhouse, your pool, that cute little office you like to sit in, might not even be on your land at all." That flicker on her face, just a split second, was all I needed. The smirk almost slipped. She stepped in closer, waving the fine right in my face. "Don't play games. We'll take everything. Your truck, your tools, even this shack you call a house. You'll be on the street before the week's over." Her voice was loud, but I could hear it. She was shaking inside. I stood up, slow and casual, dusted off my jeans for show. "Pretty confident, aren't you, Karen?" And yes, I said it for the neighbors' benefit. Confident about rules that don't even apply to me. You could almost hear the blood rush to her face. "Don't you dare call me that. I'm the HOA president," she snapped. I shrugged. "Authority means nothing if you don't actually own the land. You get that, right? Authority without ownership, it's just noise." She froze. And just like that, her backup arrived. 2 security guards, if you could call them that, came strutting up the street, plastic badges glinting, dark sunglasses they probably bought at the gas station. She crossed her arms, acting bold again now that the cavalry had arrived. "Gentlemen, remove him from this property. He's trespassing." The neighbors' heads whipped around. Phones came out. Somebody started recording. I just grinned, reached into my pocket, and pulled out an envelope. "My turn," I said, holding it up. "You think this land belongs to your little club? This says otherwise." The guards glanced at each other, suddenly not so sure. Karen tried to snatch the envelope, but I pulled it away. "That's fake," she shrieked, but her words sounded thin. And by now, half the block was outside, whispers flying. I leaned in, close enough so only she could hear. "I'm about to show them something that'll burn your empire to the ground." I started toward the edge of the yard, neighbors parting like I was Moses at the Red Sea. "Let's clear this up once and for all," I said, loud and steady. Karen's jaw dropped. You can't, but nobody was listening. The guards, for all their chest puffing, were looking real nervous. I raised the deed, high as I could. "This entire HOA clubhouse," I pointed, nice and slow, "sits on my property. Deed, survey, county records, all of it. This land's mine." You ever see a crowd collectively gasp? Some folks just stared. Karen went red, then white, then red again, stammering, "No, no, that can't be." One of the neighbors, Mrs. Goldstein, stepped up squinting at the paperwork. "Wait a minute. This shows she's standing on his land." Karen started flailing. "That's fake. The HOA has." I cut her off. "You brought fake cops, fake threats, and $1 million fine. But your precious clubhouse was built on my land. Your whole power trip? Smoke and mirrors." The guards shuffled, their tough guy routine slipping fast. One muttered, "Maybe we should go." Karen whirled on me, her voice wobbling. "I'll sue. This isn't over." I folded the deed calmly, looking her dead in the eye as the neighbors crowded in. She looked so small then, like a kid who'd just had her Halloween candy taken away. The applause started on one porch, then another. Some cheered outright. That's when Karen's face twisted, not in triumph, but real panic. She'd lost the room. But you know what? Karen's the type that never backs down. Her anger just boiled over. She spun on her heel, shouting at her guards. "Call the cops now. Tell them he's trespassing." The guards hesitated, sunglasses looking more like Halloween costumes by the second. One leaned over. Mom, maybe we should just go." And yes, you heard right. Turns out both security guards were her own kids dressed up like mall cops. Her voice climbed another octave. "No, do it. I don't care." I stepped down from the porch, slow and easy, like I had all the time in the world. "You want the real cops?" I asked, just loud enough for everyone to hear. "Fine, but you'd better be ready to explain why you've been lying to every single person here." Her phone buzzed, a lifeline. She answered, barked into the receiver. Seconds later, she slammed the phone down, face drained of color. They said they'll send someone, but they need proof. Proof of ownership. My smirk got a little wider. That was the moment the cracks in her kingdom turned into a canyon. Frantic, she whipped out another sheet of paper, some bogus notice, waving it like a magic wand. "I can still find you. I can still." I held up my hand. "No, Karen, what you're doing right now, that's fraud. And fraud doesn't end in fines. It ends in cuffs." Phones everywhere now, catching every second. Even her kids looked ready to bolt. She tried one more time, her voice shrill and breaking. "Don't listen to him. He's lying." But it was too late. The whole crowd knew. I let the silence fill up the air. Then I said, quiet but clear, "Funny thing, Karen, you didn't know my family's been in law enforcement for decades. Real authority. Not this plastic badge nonsense. My wife, SWAT trainer. My brother, retired sheriff. Me, I keep records." Her mouth opened, closed, opened again, like a fish. I pulled a tablet from my bag, flicked it on, and up popped a video. Hidden camera footage. All of it. Karen sneaking onto my porch at night, stapling up fake notices, calling her kids to play rent-a-cop. Every word, every threat, caught on tape. Neighbors went dead silent. Then the murmurs kicked in. "That's her. It's all recorded." Karen lunged, desperate to grab the tablet, but I held it just out of reach. "This," I said, slow and steady, "is what happens when you build an empire on lies." The guards stepped back, faces burning with shame. Karen was trembling, voice barely more than a squeak. You can't. This is illegal." I smiled, cold but calm. "Exposing you isn't illegal, Karen. But everything you've been doing absolutely is." At that point, the first real cop car pulled up, lights spinning. Karen spun around, desperate, but nobody came to her rescue. The cop got out, looked at me, then at her, then at the crowd holding their breath. "Sir, do you have proof of ownership?" he asked. I handed him the deed and the tablet, calm as a stone. Karen tried to protest, but her words fell flat. The cop barely glanced at her. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you and your, security team to step aside." The crowd burst out laughing. Yeah, that happened. Karen's kids ditched the sunglasses, red-faced, and slunk back to their house. The cops studied the deed, checked the footage, then handed it back to me with a nod. "Looks pretty clear to me. This is your land, sir. I suggest everyone go home and mind their own business." Karen didn't move. She just stood there, knees locked, the weight of her little kingdom crashing down around her. People started drifting off, some shaking my hand, others muttering about finally being free from her reign. That porch never felt so good. The summer breeze, the laughter, even the scent of those damn tomatoes. I soaked it in, because I knew the whole block would never see her the same way again. But here's the funny part. Karen didn't apologize, didn't admit a thing. She just glared at me, as if somehow, someway, I was the one who'd cheated her. She stomped off, head held high, but for the first time in her life, nobody followed. No fake guards, no angry neighbors, just her and that useless sheet of paper fluttering in the breeze. And you know what? That night, the clubhouse lights stayed off. The pool sat empty. The neighborhood slept easy. But I sat on my porch, sipping cold sweet tea, and wondered, what happens next? Will she come back for round 2? Will the HOA double down or finally let folks live in peace? I guess that's the thing about bullies. When you shine a light on them, they scatter, but sometimes they come crawling back. So what do you think? Was I right to fight back, or did I go too far? Ever tangled with a power-hungry neighbor or HOA yourself? Drop your story in the comments, and let's see whose tale tops the charts. Justice, revenge, or just tomatoes? Whose side are you on?